guys, Jesse here from King Domes. You join us here on our very first project of the year here in the lovely rural Victoria region, just west of Albury, building our 7-metre King Dome. Here we are getting our lovely deck supports ready to go using this beast. That was quite a fun bucking bull there, quite an experience. But yeah, so just keeping you guys updated with what we're doing. 7-metre King Dome. We'll be back. I'm going to head up to Queensland at the end of this week, but we'll be back here next week building the dome, provided the weather's been all good. So we arrived yesterday and it was absolutely pouring down. That's all right. It is beautiful and sunny now. A little bit too sunny, I'd say. We're getting pretty burnt, but you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, yeah. So again, Jesse from King Domes here at about half an hour west of Albury-Wodonga region, building a 7-metre King Dome. Keep you posted. Cheers. So I thought I'd utilise this time here while you're watching this beautiful time lapse of us running around like headless chooks, putting concrete in the ground. If you're deciding to DIY your own deck or stay under the radar when it comes to erecting one of our structures, I do recommend, especially throughout this sort of process, one, absolutely make sure that your deck is designed to Australian standards. That isn't overly difficult. If you are getting a qualified builder to do it, they will have this information on hand. But two, as well, please take photos of absolutely every part of this process. You dig a hole for the footings, you take a photo of that hole, you put a tape measure in that hole, you show how deep that hole is, you put concrete in, you show a photo of the concrete, you know, the posts, the designs, everything. Just keep a record of it, because at the worst case scenario you can always seek forgiveness rather than seeking permission, as our domes are classified as movable dwellings, temporary structures and tents. So just keeping that one in mind there for anyone who wants to undertake this route themselves without council approval. Alrighty, and we are into the dome build itself. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting the first tier ready to go, so that when we start we have all the right members in the correct position. I always recommend getting that door position in the right position. We haven't got it bolted down because we don't want to put holes in the nice mobile decking there. Well, actually, this is a Victorian video, so Merbau decking. Not sure why, but it is what it is. But yeah, so obviously you saw in that section there that the first tier went up very straightforward, very quick, very easy, because of that, spent a little bit of time getting the tiers up and running. We're now working on the door frame here. The door frame does have its own specific steel members that fit specifically to the door frame. I do always recommend doing this section first for the the second tier. You can see, look, we're getting quite a substantial amount of steel members on that one bolt. I think for the 7-metre there is 8 in total for that one bolt that we're currently at now. The reason why I recommend putting this on first is because you don't want to be taking the nut that holds that or those members on that bolt for the higher tiers, well, in this case tier 3, because it can be a whole lot of issues. You also don't want this to be the most fixed point. As we come around now, you don't want to be feeding bars onto that bolt at that stage. It's not to say it can't be done, it's just a lot more tedious. So get those bars in, get that bolt on, get the nut on, and just leave it loose enough that you have flexibility. But other than that, just go to town. We're already on our third tier. I think we're about maybe an hour and a half in at this stage. The entire thing took us about 3 hours to do this frame. I always recommend in this process, you may have noticed at the start of the build that none of the actual anchor points are bolted down. It gives you flexibility and freedom of movement to be able to adjust and move accordingly. The dome will sort of find its resting place as you build. Because of the structural integrity of the frame itself, it will have no issues once you have that second tier up. You saw that the door frame was held perfectly fine after that first tier, but the more you build it, the more rigid it gets, of course, and it will find its resting space. We always do recommend putting a nail or something in the center as a marker, so that you can easily come through once that frame is built and just measure out your distances to the anchor plates to make sure that that dome is in the correct spot. But other than that, very straightforward. We did make a slight hiccup in the frame build. You may have noticed in the third tier we had to come back to. That was simply just because we put the incorrect members in. It happens to the best of us. But anyway, we're on to the cover now. As you saw, very straightforward to pull on. We just used the ute. We put one of our tension bars in through the sleeve that houses the tension bars. We then pulled a rope through it, make sure that rope is nice and strong. That one was a 2-ton rated rope there, and it just went over smooth as day. You have us climbing on the frame like monkeys, trying to push it out and make sure it slides over effortlessly. But you'll see as this video progresses that the amazement of what the tension bars can do. That's us feeding them through at the moment. And that just helps to, 1, anchor the cover to the frame itself, and 2, to help bring the cover down so that you iron out those wrinkles. The sun will iron out the wrinkles over time as well. The sun in this particular video was sort of going more over the ute, and we noticed a substantial difference on that side of the dome compared to this side, just simply because of that UV factor hitting that cover, ironing out those wrinkles over time. But you can see already we haven't even tensioned this down. We're just literally connecting the tension bars themselves, or the J-hooks that anchor the tension bars to the frame, and you can already see how much these wrinkles are coming out, which is awesome. But yeah, it just goes to show the little things that may not be seen every day, but it just makes a world of an impact of difference compared to other domes out there, which most of I've seen simply using straps, basically like plastic straps, sort of like what you'd do to do up your helmet, but with PVC for the straps themselves and like a plastic but neither here nor there. We're King Domes and we focus on quality. But now we're here doing the installation. Installation itself is very easy. Fortunately, the camera angle isn't the most flattering, and because we're in close quarters, it was hard to get the entire dome in. With our 10 meter, it can be different. This one's 7 meter, but the 7 meter to a 10 meter is quite literally half the size in terms of interior floor space, and I'd say probably a third of the interior space in general. But it is very straightforward to put together. All the insulation panels are they're numbered, and you just follow our instruction manual. Nice and easy, bit by bit. I did get a bit carried away because I thought that our insulation was packed in the correct order from our last expo, but I think we had 1 or 2 panels in the wrong place. But very straightforward to swap them out, put them back in, so that was nice and easy. And yeah, that's our installation there. I think we're calling it mochaccino or cappuccino. I'm not too sure. I specialize in domes. I'm not an interior designer and haven't got fancy names. So if you've got a good name to call it, want any sort of recommendations, I'd love to hear it. And you never know, we could tag you in for naming our new insulation color. But other than that, smashing through that one. Unfortunately, we didn't do a video of the door installation or the curtain installation because we were in a bit of a rush. By the end of it, we had to get up to Queensland by the end of the week, but that's neither here nor there. We're just smashing through it, and happy days. And there we have it, our very first 7 meter King Dome build for 2024. Just look how well it blends into the Aussie landscape there. Just looking gorgeous. We've got some internal shots there. Looking forward to the finished product of what it looks like when it's fully fitted out. Our lovely client Sarah there, really enjoying it, sitting out on her deck, looking out over her beautiful property there. But other than that, this is Jesse from King Domes. If you do want to watch the video of the walkthrough there, just click on the video on the right. Otherwise, we've got a 6 meter King Dome video that you can click on the left. But other than that, you guys enjoy. Take care.